Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's Stand Gamers, and welcome back to another Airsoft video. This time we're going to be talking about the subject of buying your first Airsoft gun. Now that is a really scary sort of thing. Maybe you're just getting into the sport, you maybe rented the last 2 games, and then you're like, yes, I'm ready to commit. Maybe you even got a separate tab open at the moment, and you're like, oh, should I press the buy button, should I get that JG MP5? And then you're like, hold up, I need an informed decision, I need someone with experience to guide me. Then you comment in my video saying, oh, which should I get, Aaron, this or this? And I'm like, I don't know, I've not got any experience with that. So today we're going to be talking about buying new, buying second-hand, and some of the things to look out for when you're buying as well. Now first off, the thing in Airsoft that I want to make really clear is behind us we have an MP5. Now this MP5 is not going to be the same as every other MP5 out there. This is, for instance, WE. A JG MP5 looks exactly the same, but internally and quality is not the same. So you want to think about that, you want to read the reviews, and you want to take step by step. Now the first thing I can get out of the way is ask yourself, where will I be playing? You go, oh, I'll be playing at the CQB place down the road. Then are you going to really want something long like an M16? Then you go, I'm going to be playing at a woodland outdoor place. And then you go, well, do I want an MP5, a short barrel, short range sort of weapon? And then you're like, what do I do? So you really want to pick what you're choosing depending on the situation you're going into. If you want to try both, maybe even pick up something between them. We have down here HK416. Now this is the difference between both. You've got an MP5 sort of length, but you've probably got the accuracy and comfort of the M16 platform. So you've got to really just think about what you're getting yourself. And then you've got people that are doing a Gucci amount, they're going to put, oh, I've got my Magpul stock on, oh, check the Magpulness and that. Listen to Magpul stock. And then you've got little things going on here. You've got, oh, my vertical grip, I'm making this thing super sexy and tactical. But don't get drawn in by it. Don't get drawn in by it. You need very simple to start with. You can have this completely bare bones. And then this is the other thing that catches people out. So you've just bought it, you've got 1 magazine with it, that's 30 rounds. Then you go, oh, well, I can't play a whole game with 30 rounds. So how many magazines do I actually need? 4, 5? And then you keep rolling, you go, oh, well now I've got 5 magazines, where am I going to stick them? In my pockets? No, that's not working. So now you see how it can roll on very easily if you don't plan from the start. So if I was playing from the start, I'd pick up myself, like for instance, a cheap MP5, and I go, well, I can have a high cap magazine, and I can run around all day for a reasonable price and see if I actually enjoy the sport itself. And then you can invest in them mid-cap magazines, you can invest in the more expensive stuff, then you can invest in the rig, the helmet, the gear, and the setup. And I will say something to the new players, is what you wear does affect how people treat you. As I tested out the other week, I ran around in a tracksuit, and people treated you like a new player. It was very interesting to actually see the results of that, but that's subject for another day anyway. So we moved on. Now buying second hand. You're going to have a majority of forums to look around, so take a look on the forums, see what's out there, make sure they've got a lot of pictures, and if there's they've not got a picture of something that you want to see, make sure you ask them. The other great thing about the forums is that you can negotiate the prices a little bit easier. You can say, hold on, the MP5 there, I'll really like it, but it's a little bit chipped, it's a little bit battered, what can you do on the price for me? Can we take, say for instance, 20 quid off that? And they'll come back at you say no, or you'll say you have to just barter it out between you, and you can get that price point that you want on something that would usually be more expensive brand new, and you can't really argue in a lot of cases with a retailer. So that's something to think about when you're buying. So now what I want to quickly do is to show you what to look for when you're picking up one of these second hand. Now the first thing you want to look for is wear and tear. Has this player before you? Give this thing a really good hammering, and something I like to do to check that is give it a shake. Listen to what's shaking, and then can you visually see that shaking. See, for the moment I can see the stock's a bit loose, that's common, and the charging handle's a bit loose. So I shake it again, and I can hear very little rattle. So that means it sounds like everything's in check, and that's a really basic little check you can do. Now the next thing I like to do is look at the end of the barrel. Has it been bashed? Has it been hit on things? Is it straight? Because you don't want one that's 90 degrees going off to the left. So check that out, have a look. If you're getting a gas one, inspect it. So open it up, look inside, check the nozzle, check your mag well, look if anything's been jammed up in it, look if there's been modifications, and make sure you ask him, have you done anything to it? Have you modified it? Have you changed anything? And in a lot of cases, if someone says on the forums to me, oh yeah, I modified it with this and that, you really want to find out, do they really have the skills to modify and mess around with it, or are they just talking absolute rubbish and they've probably made that worse than it originally was. In a lot of cases, you get a lot of these guys tinkering and they end up just making it a lot worse, less accurate, the hop-up's messed up, and that's going to lead for more work for you to have to do. And if you're at a beginning stage, you're not going to be able to do that work, so that means tech work, and that costs money. So you don't end up buying second-hand thinking you've got a deal, and then you find out that something is completely broken. That happened to a friend of mine, and since that's happened, it's just completely wiped him out of the sport. He's not been able to afford the fixing of it, so that means he can't play, and he's not played in months now. It's a really sad thing to go off. Let's put that back on there. So another thing that I want to talk about is buying a bolt-action sniper rifle to start with. And recently, with videos and other things going quite viral, people are like, oh yeah, I fancy myself as that big sniper guy, take out people from 100 meters. And these people in these videos have very custom made guns. They cost a lot, they've been worked on, they're precisionally made, and for you to buy one off the shelf and expect to have the same sort of results is quite ridiculous in a lot of cases. So as you can see here, Lee Enfield, not a good starter gun. Bolt action, not good. Pick yourself up an AEG, get on the field, see if you enjoy it, and then if you feel like you enjoy it and you're ready for a challenge, then pick that up separately. Now, what I've got here in front of me is a simple case, something I really do recommend. A lot of situations I see is someone will pull one out of a car in a bin bag and he'll drop it, or in transit it's getting damaged, the barrel gets bent or something happens and you lose accuracy, you just end up with problems with it at all. So save your investment, buy a cheap and affordable case, stick it in there, and you're pretty much safe when you're driving or getting to your site, or even just storing it around the house. Now the final thing I want to talk about is when you're at a site, when you're doing them early games, is if you see something you like, you maybe see an MP5, go over to the guy, say, hey, can I have a look at that a second, what brand's this? Ask him 101 questions, and most of these airsofters love questions about the kit and equipment. They'll be like, this and this, and then it's up to you to kind of divide where his ego is, because remember, he's purchased that, he's going to be like, yeah, this is my baby, it's the best thing in the world, it's super accurate, hold it, feel it, if he lets you shoot it, and you make that decision for yourself. Listen to a little bit of what he said, and then think about it, apply your own logic, and if it just sounds too good to be true, it most likely is. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully it's helped you make a little bit more of an informed decision on what to pick up next, or what to pick up first in a lot of cases. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.